If you could live green, would you? I'm Nick Federoff, host of Things Green, where we introduce nuggets of green lifestyle from gardening, upcycling, answering your questions, sustainability, even discussing environmental issues. You can become more confident in making the right decisions for you and your family. So come along as we are Things Green. Jess, I understand that we are going to be looking at some production at this beautiful facility that you have.
Yes.
So we had the opportunity in a different show, and if you didn't see that show, shame on you. Well, it'll probably be in repeat, so don't worry about that. We are here in Wisconsin. We're actually in Denmark. Do you have He has a little bit of a Dutch accent. So
I got the Wisconsin accent.
He's got the Wisconsin. Oh, that's what it was. I thought it was a Dutch accent.
Yeah, right. No,
we're in Denmark,
Wisconsin.
Yeah. We're on a 10-acre facility.
No, this is a 26 acre. We just walked.
That's
last
right.
episode we walked through 10 acres. Now we're going to walk through the next 10 acres.
No wonder my dogs are hurting me. So we're going through the second phase of this, and this second part so far, and I'm just looking at the front. It's even more beautiful than where we came from.
Yes.
That's something else. Okay, so we have ourselves a family business here that started back in the 70s. Started small, started building. You were actually a youngster when you first started working, and now you're on the production side of all this, and you get to see all this stuff on a daily basis.
Correct.
Why do you do this?
I guess I've done it for close to 45 years.
Uh-huh.
Every spring is different. Weather's different. Crops are different. You get to see new products, beautiful products. What else would you want to do in life except to work in a greenhouse and see beautiful color year round?
Okay, so your temperature here in Wisconsin fluctuates like crazy. You're up and down. You could be minus 40 degrees outside and be really hot out here. How do you regulate everything in here? These are living things.
Right.
And they don't respond like, you and I get cold, we put a jacket on or a few pounds and we could stay warmer.
Right.
Take it off. How does that happen here?
This is, all our greenhouses are heated. In this particular greenhouse, there's floor heat in the ground with hot water that circulates. We have boilers that create hot water.
Really? This is like pipes inside there?
There's pipes in the floor that actually produce the heat and keep the roots warm for our products. So we're constantly.
Everything's got concrete on it though.
It's in some places it's in the concrete, some places it's in the ground.
Really?
This greenhouse we just walked through. This is a glass greenhouse. Where the last episode was a poly greenhouse. So it's just different technologies. That greenhouse was built in the 90s. This structure was built in the 80s. So it's basically 10 years old between the two of them.
Okay, so which is really interesting because you could find. Greenhouses, sometimes they call them hot houses, but you can find that on a consumer level, you can find both. Now, the greenhouse that I have, and by the way, I have no business owning a greenhouse, is a clear poly.
Yes.
And I opted for that one because it's just pretty, because it's a decorative greenhouse. So, you have clear glass over here. Was that clear over there? Or
it was the clear poly.
It was a clear poly over there?
Yes.
So it's clear poly.
Yes.
So is there a difference between the two?
Yes, most certainly. Glass is basically 100% light can pass through it, where the poly will diffuse it and you maybe will get 85% of the light.
No kidding. That is really
but that's all taken into consideration in our crops, of where we place things in our in the greenhouses.
So you're not taking necessarily growing plants over there over here and vice versa because of their needs.
They do grow well in both environments, but there are certain certain plants that like a glass house versus a poly house. So we will adjust for those, and it's maybe 5% of the crop is like that. Most plants are pretty happy to be in either both environments.
So how many? I say this tongue in cheek, but it's got to happen. How many plants do you gotta kill to get it right? I would imagine throughout the years, there's as many plants as you've grown had to have possibly succumbed to the elements, and even though it's under controlled elements, isn't it?
I would say that when you have a seed, we know what our germination rates are going to be on our seed.
Okay.
So there's going to be a loss there. It's just seed is what it is.
Yeah. I usually tell people 10%.
Our seed can range. We don't buy any seed that's doesn't have a germination percentage less than 85%.
Oh.
So we will take that into consideration when we sow our
off.
seed. So we know every variety, every series, and we adjust our germination, our buffers according to that variety. Okay. So once that's sown, though, we put it on the greenhouse. We look at our losses. I would right now this facility is probably less than 1% of what we grow is what we lose.
Nice.
So we are very conscious
encouraging.
We're conscious of what we do. So
okay, so I've not seen we're not in a greenhouse anymore.
Nope.
This is a warehouse.
Correct.
And what does this warehouse do?
This warehouse is our production facility. We actually have soil lines. On the other side of that wall, we have a soil mixing equipment that actually mixes our soil.
Is it a proprietary mix or something special?
It's a special recipe that we have. So we have, and I can tell you, it's got peat moss and it's got peat moss and perlite in it, and then there's a slow release that goes into it, and then also some different limes to raise the pH of the peat moss.
So even at the little itty bitty stage that these are at right now, it has a little bit of food in there.
Yes.
So once it starts growing, it can nab onto that food.
Correct.
And have a stronger root system.
And we basically have two soil mixing lines, one for the small plants and one for the larger plants.
Okay.
Because it takes a little finer material to go into that smaller cell versus the other.
So when this place is hopping and bopping, you guys, this noisy in here, it's got to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right now they're on break or labor's.
That's okay.
So
I'll
it's
tell
kind
you.
of late in the day. So
That would mess up with our filming over here, but that would be something else. Okay, so I see a hopper right there.
Yes.
Now, what goes inside that hopper?
That would be our soil. After the soil is mixed, like I said, there's a mixing system on the other side of that wall.
Okay.
There's a light system on the end of each conveyor belt that tells us.
Yeah, look at this over here. This is cool.
Up here at the top, that combination of lights tells the person who's transplanting on this line that they got the right soil mix for the right plant.
Really?
So we've kind of tried to make it simple for the worker to know. Oh, I got to have something that needs higher lime in it.
So everything that you do is not automated. You have to have people here
most certainly
to make this work. So you're feeding a lot of families.
Yes.
Nice. This is a very light mix.
Yes.
Look at that. And it holds together too.
Yes.
How cool.
Yes.
How cool.
And we're constantly looking at our different mixes. We're experimenting now with wood fiber and seeing how that's going to fit.
Come over here, Jessica. Okay, so this right here, the soil drops down into these containers. Is it a loose pack or is it a heavy pack?
There's a compression there's a roller that'll compress. So basically we'll put about 3 inches of soil on top of the pot. There's a roller that pushes it in to compact it in, and then there's a brush that wipes it off. So you get that finished pot.
Okay, so I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that none of this soil goes to waste.
No.
Because you get buckets here, you'll be catching it, and then it goes back over there, right?
When we buy equipment like this, my first question to the manufacturer is, how much soil am I going to see on the ground? I don't want to see any. So when you look at what's underneath our machines, we want zero. So we actually work with the manufacturers to design the equipment to keep the soil in the pot and in the system.
So your electric bill is going to be huge. Okay, now you have some buckets here.
Yes.
And are we typically planting the same kind of plant in here, or is this a seed? What's going to go in here? Who knows?
Multiple different things. It could be anywhere from ageratum to zinnia. It could be a seed item to a vegetative item. It could be a perennial. It could be a vegetable. Pretty much anything can go into it. It all depends on what our customer is requiring.
So, and this is
that they call that a disc that we put in there, and that helps hold the water in the it gives a little cavity below that to help hold water into the hanging basket for the customer later on.
Okay. So that's being put on by hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this is, and then over there is where they're putting in the plants?
Yes.
And the plants are put in by hand or by machine?
There's the line over there that's running.
Oh, is there? Can we go see that?
Sure.
All right, let's go see the running line.
At least I hear a machine running, so I'm...
It's not a very loud machine, though. Okay, so I hear something going on over here. This is so cool.
Hi. So this is where they would, again, you can see where they're filling the trays.
Okay.
And look at it, they're getting ready to start it up. They got a brush that brushes it off.
Nice.
And then it runs down, and then it goes through the transplanter.
Look at that brush right there. Oh, that's so cool. It makes it nice and... I've only seen a machine like this at trade shows.
Okay.
You know, and then they're just recirculating it back and forth. So I didn't know that people actually bought this stuff. Oh, look at this. Okay.
So actually now it's going to go in and load up the plugs.
Oh, we're going to do it. Look at this, look at this, look at this. This is magic. So we have the little tiny plug. Can you see those plugs? I'm not going to stick my hands in there.
Yeah, there'd be a problem with that.
So I'm assuming they're going to dump it in right now. Okay, let's see. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. So they're one behind. And then let's see how this thing goes in. Okay, so I'm assuming they're going to drop it in right now.
Yeah, at some point they're going to make the magic.
So they don't have to pre-punch the hole. It's just going to squish it right in.
Right. It'll yeah. Some places do make it what they call a dibble hole into it.
There you go.
We don't do that.
There you go. Did you see that? Did you see? Oh, look at this. They're doing more. Okay, so they did one line. Does that mean they're going to come back and do more? Or?
Yes. Yeah, and that it all starts out with that first one.
Oh, I see what they're doing. Okay,
yeah.
so they're just practicing that first one.
Right.
All right, so
they're just getting the alignment.
So we have one there that didn't get plugged.
So we always have somebody on the other side of the machine. The machine's not perfect, so we have somebody that's always checking to see for misses.
Okay.
And then it'll get...
Oh, look at this. They're putting it in my hand. Okay, so she's checking it out. She's putting it in my hand. Let's see if she catches anything else. This is so cool right here. The machine's pretty accurate.
It uses the XY coordinates to get it in the right spot.
Plus, it's only picking up what it knows that's inside there. So if you had something that had died or something like that,
it's going to pick that up as well.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah,
This machine doesn't. Those machines against the wall has the camera in it where it actually knows there's plants there.
So she's going to plug this one in right here.
Yes.
So we got one, and it's pushed in. Just that simple.
Right.
And he grows. That's what's really cool about it.
Right.
Okay.
So what we do is we set some trays to the side because we're going to label them. And in the labeler, we got label buffer in there, so we actually have to set some aside. Then what they'll do is they'll let them run down, and then they'll put the labels on. And at the end, then they'll put these on to label these up, and then send the next print job to the printers for printing the labels. So there's a lot of science we go through to make sure we're utilizing, because we hate to waste labels, we hate to waste anything. Yeah. And labels are expensive,
Sure.
Even though they might be 3-4 cents, you can lose 10,000 labels in a season. So
ouch.
So
it adds up.
It all adds up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is really cool. All right, I got to see more magic. Where are we going?
All right. We can walk out into the greenhouse and see some more color.
You got to admit, this is pretty cool. Oh, look at what they're doing here. Look at what they're doing here. They're blowing it away. So this is blowing away all the excess, right?
Yes. So we have to blow the air on the side of the tray so that we can apply the label. So the label sticks to the tray.
Does each cell get a label, or depending on what it is?
Depending on what it is, yes. It could be one tray gets a label, or one pack gets a label, or one pot gets a label.
Very good. I think I want to live here. I want to live here. Okay, so they're punching all that in. That's nice.
So we can take out and see some more finished product.
Okay. Yeah, you catching on here? You doing all right here, Jessica? Okay, you can shake your hammer. Shake the camera up and down. Let us know. There you go.
So we do use one of the greenhouses here for storing some of our
Oh yeah.
our inputs, our finished containers.
Okay, so today it's actually kind of chilly, but in here it's warm because of the greenhouse factor.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
We do have forced air heat in this particular range. The range we're going to walk into was built probably about 5 years ago.
Okay,
So,
let me take a look at this. So you have different pots, different sizes, different things that they're going, different colors, different, and these all could be represented by different clients,
correct.
right?
Correct.
But yet some of them could be your own.
Right. Right.
Wow.
There's some that are even for fall that we have.
Hey,
Fall.
wait a minute. What kind of color are you putting in these monsters? That's got one.
Well, we do supply some of our customers what we planters for in front of their office buildings.
Oh, okay, that's what that would be for.
We do that. So
Okay. All right. So now what? Now these pansies are a whole lot bigger
yes,
than we've seen before. A little bit cooler in here.
yes. This house has actually got a roof that opens.
Oh, look at that. Hey,
You can see the blue sky.
can you see the blue sky?
It was got-
Blue sky. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Okay.
So like I said, this greenhouse we built about 4 years ago. It's
Right.
our latest 4-acre expansion that we had. We grow basically on the ground. There's no heat in the ground. Like I said, this is forced air, so we have modine heaters that actually supply the heat to the facility.
So it's not always this cold.
no.
So this almost
But
feels like
if we walk
feels
through
like
that
you're-
wall, I bet you it's going to be warmer.
Oh, okay.
So-
okay. So this is almost like as if you're hardening them off.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So is that a thing that you have to do with all your plants, just to harden them off?
Yes. We always
Okay.
want to make sure that if they're coming out of the 70-degree greenhouse and they're going to end up at retail that's at 50 degrees, we want to make sure that that plant is ready to go. So
All right, so I see two types of irrigation going on over here. Obviously, these are spaced out exactly where they're supposed to be.
yes.
And this is a tape irrigation process.
Yes.
And then when you go up here, that would be more like a drip, I would imagine.
They're both drip
They're both-
irrigations.
they're both drip.
One is a tape and one is a hard pipe.
Okay.
So that basically it's
oh, yeah. I see the pipe up there.
there's a dripper or emitter at each pot. And this house we can double stack, so we actually can have things above and below each other
Okay.
to utilize the space. And we're always worried about not making sure we get enough light for the crop below it. So
Okay. Is there ever a time where you grow these plants because you're forecasting what someone's going to buy? Is there anything ever, either a client or yourself, and people just don't like it? Is that ever really happened?
not
Not really.
I mean, there's no, I don't think so. I think there's always a plant for somebody. Somebody might not like yellow; they
Yeah.
might like purple instead. So we try to, when we pick our selections, we try to make sure that we're picking selections that are accommodating for all different types of people and their tastes.
One of the things that I like doing is whenever I travel, I get a plant and I leave it for housekeeping. Whenever I stay at a hotel for more than a couple of days.
Sure.
And boy, oh boy, I've actually had the housekeepers try to find me and they say, thank you. And,
Right.
and it works out to be a great tip because some places you actually can't tip them.
Right.
So,
right.
okay, so we have this plastic, this is a poly material. Is this what the greenhouse over there?
No,
Rita?
it's a
It's a different
it's
type.
a different poly. It's
Okay.
more of a
Oh, plus it was clear.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we have
Well,
that.
it's the same poly that's on this roof.
Okay, and then we have a different type. This is just for the walls.
Right. That's for the walls. Like on the ceiling up here. Now that's going to be the clear poly that we use.
Oh.
Which is, like I said, that's an 85%.
Okay. This greenhouse a little bit, slightly warmer.
Well, the roofs are
That-
not open in this house.
And that one had, actually had more wind in it.
Right.
Okay, now these all look like they're ready to go.
They are
Pretty close, huh?
Each crop has a date when it was produced and when it's going to
Oh.
ship. So we know and time that accordingly.
Okay. Look at the deep color on this.
Yes.
Oh my.
So we have a team that actually looks at our products and try to coordinate products that kind of go together. Basically, people use these plants to decorate their yards. So it's basically we're trying to provide a product that, hey, this matches my cushions on my patio set or whatever else they may have, going on in their backyards.
Yeah.
So, and we change that up regularly. We're constantly looking at new breeding and new products, like this gardenia that we grow. That comes from a tissue culture that we produce for our customers.
I get kind of a kick out of certain things when you start talking about tissue cultures. That was actually invented in the ag industry.
Right.
And to this day, when they do cloning, tissue culture is a fancy word for cloning. They're starting to do it to animals. But the point is that it actually started here.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's really kind of cool. So look at this.
Did you want to see our seating equipment? I mean, that's a little bit of ways away. So,
well, I don't know.
if that's...
I'll tell you what. Let's see what kind of time that we have over here.
Okay.
And do we have enough time on there? Does it look like you have time? It looks like we're kind of ending up our trip.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I'll tell you what. Tell us about your seating equipment, and we'll go back and we'll.
Well, we have 4 lines of equipment that actually sows the seed.
Okay.
It's very similar to what you saw in the transplanting area. The machine has a drum that actually picks up the seed and then drops it into the tray and singulates. So we don't have one person sticking one seed in every little cell. We actually have a machine that does that for us. So
okay. So it's a sticky drum?
It's an aluminum cylinder that's got vacuum in it. And the vacuum pulls the seed to the drum, and then when it gets to the bottom of the drum, it releases into the cell.
So do you have to put a different size drum on there based on the different size seeds?
Yes. We have multiple different size drums that do that.
Okay. So. And then that takes and just drops it on.
Yes.
Now, do you cover the seed or just let it stay on top?
It all depends on the seed variety itself. Okay. So a lot of times it's some things will get a cover, some things I would probably say 10% gets a cover. The rest of it is just sown on the top, germinates on the top, and produces.
So can people actually do that in the real world though?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah,
certainly.
Instead of actually having to cover it up.
Well, they've got to make sure they're on time with their watering and make sure it's in the right. A lot of people.
Yeah, because you keep everything moist here.
Yes.
You don't keep it wet; you keep it moist.
Right.
And that moisture, and it's
right.
Like that. So, are any of the seeds scarified?
Yes, geranium seeds are scarified.
Really? How do you do that?
That's
proprietary. Well, don't tell anybody.
I believe it's an acid treatment that they put on the seed.
So scarifying means that when you have a hard coat on a seed, you have to soften it up, and you could do it with all kinds of different things, whether it be different types of acids. It could be water, just soaking the seeds overnight. It could be fire. It could be using sandpaper. So whatever the case is, that's a really what it does. It increases the amount of germination that you have.
Correct. We grow probably close to 3,200 varieties of seed. From annuals to perennials to vegetables to herbs.
And every one of those seeds, that 3,200 has a specific number on it, right?
Correct.
And then you have like something that you barcode or something like that to keep everything straight?
Well, each tray is barcode, so we know what's in that tray. So we know what color, we know what genus, variety, and color is in each tray. So it's very, very important that we make sure when a customer puts an order in, they get the right product with the right that they ordered.
Well, I think this is an absolute perfect place right here to end this show, because the color on all these plants over here are just absolutely amazing. I could definitely see stuff like this hanging around my house. And I would imagine if you go to your local nursery and garden center and you ask them for an eclectic planting mix that you could put that matches your pillows.
Right.
Sorry. I thought I was going to laugh over there. I'm doing it now. But it's true. People actually do that. And I get that. It's color coordinated.
Right.
It makes sense.
Right. And the majority of the people that buy this are the female customer.
Yeah.
It's not that guys don't like flowers. I mean, I've worked here for close to 45 years, and they've kind of grown on me. So.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Really appreciate that.
You bet.
Thanks for joining me on another excursion of Things Green. Our goal is to educate, inform, and entertain so you can become exposed to a green lifestyle inside and outside of the home and community, all on your terms. Join me next time right here as we help you with Things Green.